Good evening and welcome to Across the Goal Line. I'm Luke Godissart. Today is Saturday, June 3rd, 2017. Today I have some NASCAR, hockey, basketball, and then I'll be taking a short break and then coming back right after that and be talking some WWE Extreme Rules, which is tomorrow night from Baltimore, Maryland. But before I get into all that, as many of you know, if you watch the show weekly, always got to plug our social media. So I'll do that here right now. Like us on Facebook, Across the Goal Line. Follow at ATGL 16 on both Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter as well at CoolHandLuke96. And you can follow me on Instagram as well. I'm on there at LGodissart96. That's LGODISSART 96. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Email us any questions or concerns at acrossthegoalline2016@gmail.com. I'll be sure to get back to you. And then we also have merchandise for sale. You can get a hold of us, either me or Cory, and let us know if you'd like to place an order for that. I'm going to be talking some hockey, as I said, in a little bit. The question of the day today is Game 3, Stanley Cup Final tonight, Pittsburgh Penguins at the Nashville Predators. Coming up here shortly at 8 o'clock on NBC. It is shortly after 7 o'clock Eastern Time in the United States of America currently. So a little less than an hour away from the start of Game 3. We got the start of a couple of baseball games coming up here tonight as well. Just a short time ago, Edison Volquez, pitcher for the Miami Marlins, just threw the first no-hitter of the 2017 Major League Baseball season. So congrats to him, former Pittsburgh Pirate, former Kansas City Royal. He's now with the, I believe he probably played for a couple other teams before he came to Pittsburgh and then off to Kansas City, but now he's a member of the Miami Marlins. If you hear anything in the background, I'm watching Fox right now. The Pittsburgh Pirates and the New York Mets are coming up, and they're currently interviewing Edison Volquez, who, as I just said, threw Major League Baseball's first no-hitter of the 2017 season. Go vote on our question of the day, going back to that. Penguins, Predators tonight, 8 o'clock, NBC. Who you got? Let me know. Down in the comments below, either on Facebook, vote in the poll on Twitter, or in the comment section on our Instagram pages. Links are all in the comments below if you're watching me on YouTube. So without further ado, I'll get started now. As I said, NASCAR, hockey, basketball, and then I'll be taking a short break, coming back to you, and then giving you my predictions for WWE Extreme Rules, which is tomorrow night. NASCAR, they got a race tomorrow, but they had a race last week as well. Charlotte Motor Speedway, Coca Cola 600, was won by Austin Dillon, who drives the number 3. The only driver to drive the number 3 since Dale Earnhardt Sr. He's been driving it for the past 4 seasons now, bringing it out of retirement, I guess you could say. And he's probably the one driver, other than Dale Earnhardt Jr., that is allowed, I think, in a lot of NASCAR fans' minds, to drive the number 3, because Austin Dillon is the grandson, also with Ty Dillon, the grandsons of Richard Childress, who was Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s crew chief. So now both Austin and Ty are up in the main series. Ty's driving a couple different number cars. Every single week it seems like he's not as big as his brother Austin yet. Hopefully he will be. But Austin Dillon won the Coca Cola 600 for the first win in his career. There was about an hour and a half rain delay this past Sunday night, but with that hour and a half rain delay, the race didn't actually get over until the wee hours of Monday morning, which was Memorial Day, shortly after midnight. But Austin Dillon, he only led 2 laps, and they were the last 2 laps of the race. because Jimmy Johnson, my driver, who I picked to win the Coke 600, came close with that. I think that would have made 2 or possibly 3, maybe even 4. I don't even know. I'm not keeping count of how many races I predicted right this year. But Johnson, he came close. But I was happy, though, that Dylan did pick up the win. As I said, he only led 2 laps in the last 2 because Johnson ran out of gas. Truex, Kyle Busch, and I think there's somebody else that I can't remember from watching it that came close to almost passing Dylan to win the Coke 600. But Dylan, as I said, I'm happy that he won. It's very historic as well, because it's the first time since October 15th of 2000 that the number 3 car has been driven to victory lane. Then the driver was obviously Dale Earnhardt, as I said just a tad bit ago. Austin Dillon's the first driver since Dale Earnhardt. I think everybody knows what happened to Dale back in 2001 on the final lap of Daytona 500. I won't get into that, but as I said, Dillon's the first driver since Dale to drive the number 3 car in the main series. Junior did drive it in a nationwide race at Daytona 4th of July weekend a couple years ago and took it to victory lane, but main series, Monster Energy Cup series, Austin Dillon's the first driver to drive the number 3 car to victory lane. As I said, there is a race tomorrow, Dover International Speedway, one of the 2. Kyle Busch actually won the pole last night for it. I think his time is now to win a race. He's winless on the year so far. He's come close. As I say, he came close this past week, and he came close a couple weeks ago as well. He's basically finished in the top 10 pretty much every single race this year. Just hasn't had enough to pick up a victory, but I think he'll have enough to get it done tomorrow afternoon at Dover to win it's called the AAA 400 Drive for Autism. So hopefully they raise a lot of money for autism as well during this race. So I'm going to take Kyle Busch to win the drive, AAA 400 Drive for Autism. Just said just a tad bit ago as well, the question of the day today is the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Nashville Predators are playing tonight on NBC. Go vote on that. Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. I'm going to go over games 1 and 2, who won those. Just do a little recap of those. Game 1 was Monday night in Pittsburgh. The Pens got out to a 3-0 lead in the first period. Second period, the Predators scored 1 in the middle of the second, but the Pens really didn't do anything again until with about 5 minutes left, I'd say, when Jake Gutzel scored a goal, because by this point, I didn't tell you yet, the Predators came back and tied the game up at 3. So about 5 minutes left, he put the Pens back up on top, 4-3, and then with about 2 minutes left, the Penguins got an empty netter, Nick Bonino's second goal of the game, and the Pittsburgh Penguins won Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final this past Monday night, Memorial Day night, by a score of 5-3. So they led the series 1-0, and then Game 2 was on Wednesday night, also in Pittsburgh, and it saw the roles were reversed there a little bit early in the game. Nashville got out to a 1-0 lead, but then after that, I thought it really wasn't that much of a game. It was pretty much a blowout. I mean, the second period there, no one scored. Everybody was playing good defense. They weren't. The goalies were saving a lot of shots. But come third period, the Penguins scored 3 times in 3 minutes. 2 of those goals were in 20 seconds apart from each other. So Pittsburgh then took a 4-1 lead, and they won by the same score of 4-1, and took a 2-0 lead in the series of the 2017 Stanley Cup Final. As I said, Game 3 is tonight, Nashville, Tennessee. It shifts down there now. Question of the day as well. Go vote on it. 8 o'clock NBC. coming up here shortly. I'm obviously rooting for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm wearing one of their shirts. Can't talk. But I think Nashville, playing at home for the first time ever in the Stanley Cup. I think they'll have enough to get it done, and I think Nashville will take Game 3 tonight. Pittsburgh will still lead the series 2-1. Obviously, the first team to win 4 games wins the series and wins the Stanley Cup championship. But who knows what's going to happen? That's why they played the game. But I think Nashville. I'm obviously rooting for Pittsburgh tonight, but I think Nashville will have enough to get it done and get back into the series. Game 4, will be on Monday night at 8 o'clock as well on NBC Sports Network. They're having the games during the week now, other than Game 1 this past week, on NBC Sports Network, and then anything on the weekends, which tonight is Saturday night. The game is on NBC. So that's hockey for you. The NBA Finals actually just started as well. Game 1 was on Thursday night. I really didn't watch it. I told myself whenever the finals matchup was set, I said I'm not even going to watch this. Just because it's the 3rd straight year that the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing in the NBA Finals. And the 7th straight year that LeBron James is playing in the finals. And I think everybody knows, if you've watched the show or you know me personally, that I hate LeBron James. I just do. So he thinks he's better than everybody. But he is a good player. I'll give him that. But I told myself I wasn't going to watch it. I ended up watching part of the Game 1 on Thursday night. I didn't watch all of it, but I really didn't miss anything, just because I had thought from what I had watched and then seeing highlights after that Golden State pretty much owned the Cleveland Cavaliers on Thursday night in Game 1 of the 2017 NBA Finals. Kevin Durant had 38 points in his first Finals game in 5 years, going back to when he was a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder, when they played the LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Big Three down in Miami against the Miami Heat. He obviously won that series, I believe. Yeah, that was LeBron's first championship in the NBA after being in the league for 8 years at the time. Steph Curry had a double-double. He had 28 points, 10 assists, and 6 rebounds. LeBron also had a double-double with 28 points, 15 rebounds, and 8 assists. Kevin Love also had a double-double with 11 points and 21 rebounds, I believe it was. I don't have that stat in front of me at the moment. As I said, LeBron led the Cavs with 28 points, 15 boards, and 8 assists, but it wasn't enough as the Golden State Warriors rolled past the Cleveland Cavaliers by a score of 113-91 in Game 1 of the 2017 NBA Finals. The Warriors have won the past 3 Game 1s in the NBA Finals. As I said, these two teams, have met in the past 3 NBA Finals. Now, Game 2 is tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on ABC. And I think every player on the Cleveland Cavaliers roster that plays will play better. Their bench was awful on Thursday night. I think they added up for a total of 20 points for all the bench players, which is downright awful. But I think everybody that plays will play better than what they did on Thursday night, and I think Cleveland will win Game 2 in San Francisco on Sunday night, tomorrow night, as tonight is Saturday night, June 3rd, 2017, if you just tuned in right now. But I think the Cavs will tie it up. Series will then shift back to Cleveland for the first time in the finals this year, this upcoming Wednesday night. I believe all the games are going to be at 9 o'clock. I did see the games in Cleveland would be at 8 o'clock, but I think they changed that, just to get the ratings up and the viewership up. come June here, middle of June. It's hard to believe it's June already, but you know, there's really nothing on TV at the moment, so a lot of people will be watching this, have them stay up late at night and whatnot. But yeah, Austin Dillon won the NASCAR race. I'm picking Kyle Busch to win the race tomorrow at Dover. The Pittsburgh Penguins have won the first 2 games of the Stanley Cup. Game 3 is coming up here shortly in about 45 minutes on NBC, so be sure to tune into that if you're a big hockey fan or you don't have anything to watch tonight. And then Golden State won Game 1 of the 2017 NBA Finals. Game 2's tomorrow night. And then I said as well, I'm going to be taking a short break here and then coming right back and giving you my predictions for WWE Extreme Rules, which is tomorrow night from Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. So stay with me. I'll be right back to give you my predictions on that, and I'll see you then.